So different scales of temperatures are discussed. Today we have to discuss the devices by means of which temperature can be measured directly, which are thermometers. So these are the devices used to measure the temperatures directly. Okay. So first of all, on what principle? On what principle thermometer works? Thermometer works on the principle of zeroth law of thermodynamics. Already I said. Okay. So it works on the principle of zeroth law of thermodynamics. Principle of zeroth law of thermodynamics. Zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, because suppose if you know the mercury thermometer, we know the mercury thermometer. So when in the mercury thermometer, at the bottom bulb is there, no mercury bulb is there, no. When you keep mercury bulb in contact with our body, then the temperature of our body is more and the temperature of the mercury in the thermometer is less. Okay, that's why there is a net transfer of heat energy from our body to the mercury. Due to that, the mercury absorbs the heat energy so that the average kinetic energy of each and every mercury atom increases or mercury atom increases. Due to that, whenever the average kinetic energy increases, temperature increases. Due to that, whenever temperature increases, mercury will expand. Whatever the expansion of the mercury here in that already I said the whatever the expansion mercury, while increase in volume of the mercury due to rise of temperature, that amount of length mercury column rises in the thermometer. So here whenever the net transfer of heat energy is stopped, that means whenever the whenever the temperature heat energy is absorbed by the mercury in the thermometer, then kinetic energy of the mercury increases, so the temperature increases, and after some time, whenever the temperature of the mercury and temperature of our body both are equal, then thermal equilibrium is reached. Already I said, whenever the thermal equilibrium is reached, exchange of heat energy takes place between them, but there is no net transfer of heat energy by the body. Net transfer of heat energy from one body to another body whenever thermal equilibrium is reached. That's why whenever thermal equilibrium is reached, as there is no further transfer of heat, net transfer of heat energy from our body to the mercury, then the average kinetic energy of the each and every atom in the mercury thermometer remains constant. Whenever it is constant, there is no expansion. That's why rise in mercury level will be stopped. So whenever mercury level will be stopped, then based on the mercury level here, what is the temperature of mercury? We can find. We can note directly. Okay, but that mercury is in thermal equilibrium with our body, no? That's why temperature of our body is also same as that of the mercury. That means thermal equilibrium is reached. Because of that only, we can say our temperature is equal to temperature of the mercury. That is because of zeroth law of thermodynamics only we are able to say what is the temperature of our body, no? That's why the thermometer works on the principle of zeroth law of thermodynamics. Here, in case of any thermometer, suppose if it already I said mercury thermometer, whenever temperature increases, mercury expands. That means the expansion, that is called thermal expansion. Upon increase the temperature, upon heating, if expansion takes place, such expansion is called thermal expansion. Based on the thermal expansion property, the mercury thermometer is designed. Of course, works on the principle of this. But why they prefer mercury only? Why they use the mercury? So based on the thermal expansion of the mercury upon heating, the mercury thermometer is designed, which works on the principle of zeroth law of thermodynamics. Similarly, in case of gas thermometers also there. When temperature of the gas increases, expansion takes place. When expansion takes place, volume of the gas may be increased or pressure of the gas may be increased. It both may be increased. Okay. So based on that expansion of the gas upon heating, that is also called as the thermal expansion only. Gas thermometers are designed. When temperature of the conducting wire increases, when temperature of the certain conductors increase, its electrical resistance increase. Electrical resistance increase. Based on that property, resistance is the property by means of which the resistance thermometers works. That resistance property is called thermometric property. By which property of the given substance thermometers are designed, that property is called thermometric property. So here It works on the principle of zero law of thermodynamics, and the substance used in the thermometer. The substance used in thermometer is called thermometric substance. The substance used in thermometer is called thermometric substance. Thermometric substance. And their property is called their property which makes use of which is used to measure temperature is called thermometric property. Thermometric property. Okay. Example. In mercury thermometer, mercury is the thermometric substance. In mercury thermometric substance is mercury. Okay, thermometric property. Thermal expansion. Okay. When temperature of mercury increases, then its volume increases, so that such increase in volume is called thermal expansion. Thermal expansion. Expansion of any substance upon heating is called thermal expansion. Okay. Next, in resistance thermometer. In resistance thermometer. In resistance thermometer, thermometric substance is thermometric substance. Of course, platinum resistance, in platinum resistance thermometer is used. So in such case, platinum, we can take platinum. Okay, or you take in platinum resistance thermometer, because different types of thermometers are there, different resistance thermometers are there. In platinum resistance thermometer, okay, platinum is the metal which is used. Okay, the thermometric property. Thermometric property. What is the thermometric property? What is the thermometric property? When temperature increases, electrical resistance changes. Based on that, resistance thermometer is designed. So what is the thermometric property? Electrical resistance. Very good. Electrical resistance. Electrical resistance. So of course, in this way we can write. Okay. So based on this thermometric property of the substance, the thermometers, in the thermometers, that substance are used. By using this property, thermometric property, we can measure the temperature. Okay, now there are different types of thermometers are there. Liquid thermometers, okay, gas thermometers, next resistance thermometers. So next one more, thermocouple thermometer. In this way, different types of thermometers are there. So we have to discuss one by one. So first one, types of next slide heading, types of thermometers. Types of thermometers. types of thermometers. First one, liquid thermometers. Liquid thermometers. So in case of liquid thermometers, the thermometric property used is thermal expansion upon heating. Thermal expansion upon heating. So in liquid thermometers, example, mercury thermometer you take. Mercury thermometer. Mercury thermometer. Okay. Here, it consists of a long glass rod. It consists of a glass rod about 10 centimeter, 15 centimeter like that, having length. And at the bottom, this glass rod is connected to a glass bulb, hollow. And here, this glass rod is made a fine bore in it, along its length. And a parallel to length, ఇక్కడ fine bore చేస్తారు. Fine bore. అయితే మనకు కనిపించాలి కాబట్టి I will draw with more diameter, but actually it is the fine bore. But no capillary action exists here. That means the radius or diameter of the diameter of this bore made in the glass rod here in mercury thermometer is more than that 1 millimeter. More than that 1 millimeter. That means here capillary action can be neglected. In such a way, the bore is made along the length of the thermometer. Okay. Capillary action is negligible. It is the bore made in the thermometer, glass rod of the thermometer. Like this. Okay, initially, suppose here at 0 degrees centigrade, at 0 degrees centigrade means that is the lower fixed point, melting point of ice. Okay, suppose the mercury level is here. At 0 degrees centigrade, suppose the mercury level is here. Okay, here 0 degrees centigrade. Melting point, lower fixed point. It is the lower fixed point. Okay, so at 0 degrees centigrade, exactly whenever the temperature of the mercury is at 0 degrees centigrade, the level of the mercury is up to this line. This is totally mercury. It is totally filled with mercury. It is the mercury bulb. Mercury bulb. Okay. Here on this this bore or on this thermometer, a scale is also marked. Here it is 0 degrees centigrade. Here 0. Here it is 0, 1 degree, 2 degree, like that. The scale is also gradated like this. Suppose here it is 100 degrees centigrade. Say. That means lower fixed point, upper fixed point. It is upper fixed point. Upper fixed point means boiling point of what is the upper fixed point now. So lower fixed point and upper fixed points are chosen like this. That means whenever the temperature of the mercury is equal to exactly 100 degrees centigrade, then the mercury level rises up to this one. In such a way, a scale is gradated or scale is drawn on the thermometer. Okay. Now you see. In this mercury thermometer, why they prefer mercury? In this thermometer, liquid thermometer, we prefer mercury thermometer or alcohol thermometer. What is the importance of the mercury thermometer? Mercury thermometer acts as a good conductor of heat. Mercury thermometer acts as a how much amount of mercury is used means that it does not stick to the wall because the angle of contact is greater than 90. Does not stick to the wall. That's why it can move freely. It can rise freely in the bore of the thermometer. Okay, and moreover, what is the amount of mercury taken in the thermometer means that depends on the size of the bulb, mercury bulb used here. Size of the mercury bulb used here. Okay. So here in this mercury thermometer or liquid thermometer, the thermometric substance, which is the mercury, that is taken here in the bulb. Bulb is in the bulb is not in the form of the spherical shape. The bulb is not in the form of the spherical shape. It is having it cannot evaporate easily. So that is the characteristic property of the mercury. Which type of liquid they prefer means the liquid which cannot evaporate easily, which cannot stick to the walls of the bulb, walls of the thermometer. Okay, such type of substance is used, such type of liquid is used in the liquid thermometer. And moreover, the conductivity must be high. Conductivity means thermal conductivity. Heat energy must be transmitted through that liquid freely, easily. That means the ability of the substance which allows the heat energy to pass through them is called thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity of mercury must be high. Thermal conductivity of mercury must be high. Okay. Yeah, I will explain. Okay. Vamshi Krishna, I will explain. So here, in case of gas thermometers, why they prefer the mercury? So mercury is having, okay, here what is the, why the bulb of the any thermometer is any thermometer, definitely they will make in the form of the cylindrical shape. For the given volume of the mercury, when it is taken in a cylinder, when it is taken in a cylindrical bulb, if the bulb is made in a cylinder, for the given volume of mercury, if it is taken in the cylindrical bulb, then it is having more surface area. It is having more surface area. Okay, suppose if the same volume of the mercury is taken in the spherical shape, and spherical bulb, the surface area of the spherical bulb is less for the given volume of the liquid. For the given volume of the liquid, surface area for the given volume of the liquid, when it is taken in the form of a sphere, its surface area is less. When it is taken in the form of a cylindrical shape, then the surface area is more. Whenever the surface area is more, as this more surface area of the mercury is in contact with our body, then more heat energy transmission takes place in the small time. Due to that, rise in temperature will be more and expansion will be more. Okay, hence they prefer the mercury. So why they prefer the mercury means mercury is having property of the mercury or characteristic property of mercury. Having high thermal conductivity, thermal conductivity means the ability of the any substance to transmit heat energy through them is called thermal conductivity. So this mercury is having high thermal conductivity, evaporates less, cannot evaporate easily, cannot evaporate easily. Okay. Next, high thermal conductivity, cannot evaporate easily. Okay, cannot stick to the wall, stick to the wall, glass wall. Of course, due to angle of contact is greater than 90, so it cannot stick to the wall. Okay. No. At 0 degrees centigrade, it is up to this level. At room temperature, suppose 26 or 20 degrees centigrade is here. Then the mercury level will be here, not here. Mercury level will be here. Okay. One minute. Here, this mercury is having low thermal capacity or low specific heat. Low thermal capacity or low specific heat. So heat thermal capacity means heat is required to raise the temperature of the given liquid or given substance by 1 degree. Okay, that is called thermal capacity. Specific heat means amount of heat is required to raise the temperature of unit mass of the substance by 1 degree. That is called specific heat. Here, this mercury is having low thermal capacity or low specific heat. That means even the small heat energy is absorbed by the substance. The rising temperature will be more because of low thermal capacity. Because of low thermal capacity. So because of low thermal capacity, even for the small amount of heat energy is absorbed, the rise in temperature will be more. Okay, that is called the thermal capacity. Right. So here, these are the properties. This is very, very important. Thermal capacity, low thermal capacity is very, very important. Low specific heat, that is very, very important. And having high thermal conductivity. These 2 points are very, very important. Okay, in case of mercury thermometer. Okay, now why they prefer the cylindrical bulb means cylindrical shaped bulb in the mercury thermometer means for the given volume of the mercury. Okay, when you take the cylindrical bulb, the surface area of the bulb will be more for the given volume. Hence, when you take the mercury thermometer with the cylindrical bulb, for the given volume of mercury, as surface area is more, when you keep in contact with our body, more surface area of the mercury is in contact with our body. That's why more heat energy transformation takes place from our body to the this mercury in the bulb. Due to that, as more heat energy is absorbed, the rise in temperature will be more. Whenever rise in a short span, in a short interval of time, in a short interval of time, the rise in temperature of the mercury will be more, as more heat energy is taken from our body to this mercury by this mercury. That's why thermal expansion takes place very quickly. Whenever thermal expansion takes place, the mercury level here, suppose because of increase in volume of the mercury, whatever the increase in volume, that amount of volume of the mercury is raised in this bore of the mercury thermometer. Suppose here, because of rise of temperature, if the increase in volume of the, suppose here you see, at 0 degrees centigrade, at 0 degrees centigrade, the volume of the mercury is say V0. At any temperature T degrees centigrade, at any temperature T degrees centigrade, the volume is say VT. Okay, then increase in volume of mercury, Vt minus V0, that is directly proportional to the initial volume of the mercury taken, and also increase in volume is directly proportional to rise of temperature T minus 0. Okay, when we club these two equations, Vt minus V0 is proportional to V0 and proportional to T, or that implies Vt minus V0 is equal to some constant alpha into V0 into T, alpha into V0 into T. So here Vt minus V0 means change in volume. No? That change in volume is equal to alpha into V0 into T means temperature of the mercury bulb. T is the temperature of the mercury bulb. So this is very, very important formula. Increase in volume of mercury upon heating. Increase in volume of mercury upon heating is equal to this one. Here at 0 degrees centigrade, suppose the mercury level is up to this only. At 0 degrees centigrade, mercury level is up to this only. Okay, this amount of mercury is taken. When temperature increases, suppose the temperature increases to 37 degrees centigrade. Temperature increases to 37 degrees centigrade. Suppose 37 is here, say 37 degrees centigrade is here, say. Then at 37 degrees centigrade, what is the increase in volume of the mercury? Actually, we have taken the mercury up to 0 degrees. Here we have taken the mercury at 0 degrees centigrade up to this volume. Okay, now when the temperature of the mercury increases to 3 degrees centigrade or 37 degrees centigrade, then because of the expansion, the volume of the mercury increases. The increase in volume is equal to this one. Here, suppose the area of cross section of the bore in the thermometer is say small a. Here, the area of cross section of the bore, area of cross section of bore is equal to say small a. Okay, suppose at 3 degrees centigrade or at 37 degrees centigrade, because of increase in volume of the mercury, here for the mercury to increase in its volume, there is a possibility to expand into this gap only, into this space only, into this bore only. That's why suppose the mercury level increases up to this one. The mercury level increases up to this one. Okay, now this reading, suppose if you see, whenever the temperature of the mercury is increased to 37 degrees centigrade, suppose the mercury level rises up to this one, then exactly at this point, a 37 degrees centigrade is marked. That means, suppose when the mercury bulb is in contact with another body which is at a temperature 37 degrees centigrade, then after few seconds, the temperature of the mercury also increases to 37 degrees centigrade, so that expansion takes place and the mercury level rises up to this one. So at 37 degrees centigrade, as the mercury level is up to this, then on this scale here, 37 degrees centigrade is marked. Similarly, if the temperature of the mercury is 100 degrees centigrade, then expansion will be more. That's why this mercury level rises more to have more increase in volume, and the mercury level reaches up to 100 degrees centigrade. So whenever the mercury level reaches up to this point at 100 degrees centigrade, this level of the mercury is marked as 100 degrees centigrade. This level of mercury is marked as 100 degrees centigrade. So in this way, here in between 100 and 0 degrees centigrade, almost all you will get equal divisions. It is divided into 100 equal parts. 100 equal parts. Suppose here 10 degrees centigrade is there. If the temperature of the mercury is 10 degrees centigrade, the mercury level expands, the mercury level rises up to 10 degrees centigrade only. Okay, because the increase in volume of the mercury is directly proportional to rise of temperature. That's why here the between 100 and 0 degrees centigrade, when you make equal divisions, then up to 10 at 10 degrees centigrade, the mercury level rises up to 10 degrees centigrade. 37 means this one, 50 means this one, like this. The mercury level rises. Here they may ask, what is the length of the mercury column that rises in the this thermometer? They may ask like that. Length of the mercury column means from 0 degrees centigrade, because lowest point is 0. So from 0 degrees centigrade, this is the length of the mercury column that rises in the this thermometer. Okay, this increase in volume, where increase in volume is equal to, you see, area of cross section already we know. Due to change of temperature, the area of cross section of the bore in the thermometer does not change considerably. That's why area of cross section is constant. Area of cross section to length of the mercury column that rises in the thermometer, that is equal to this volume of this mercury column. No? That volume of the mercury column is equal to increase in volume of the mercury column only. No? That's why area of cross section A into rise L. That gives the increase in volume of the mercury column. Sometimes we will be given increase in volume of the mercury column. What is the temperature? What is the reading of the thermometer? They may ask like that also. What is the reading of the thermometer? We can find based on that. Okay. So here in this way they ask, what is the increase in length of the mercury in the thermometer? That means this one. Okay. Sometimes if 0 degrees centigrade is not marked exactly at 0 degrees centigrade, it is marked as minus 3 degrees centigrade like this. 0 degrees centigrade is here only. 0 degrees centigrade is here. It is marked as minus 3. But mercury is up to minus 3. In such case, what is the reading? Suppose the mercury level rises up to this point. The mercury level rises up to this point. That means we had to add these 3 also, no? Because it is minus 3, it is 0. So mercury level is initially taken here. So the mercury level expands from this position to this position, means 37 plus 4, 40 degrees centigrade, 40 degrees. So rise in temperature is 40 degrees centigrade. We have to write like that. Okay, this is the mercury thermometer. Here these points are important. So with the help of the mercury thermometer, what is the range of temperatures we can measure? What about the range of temperatures we can measure? So with the help of the mercury thermometers, we can measure the temperatures from minus 50 degrees centigrade to 350 also. Of course, not by this one, not by this mercury thermometer we use. So then we can construct it. By mercury thermometer, we can measure the temperatures from minus 50 to 350 degrees centigrade. So here we can measure. We can measure from minus 50 degrees centigrade to minus 50 degrees centigrade to okay 350 degrees centigrade. Minus 50 degrees centigrade to 350 degrees centigrade. We can measure with the help of the mercury thermometer. Okay. Next, alcohol thermometer is there. Here, alcohol thermometer is also there. By means of alcohol thermometer, we can measure the temperatures from minus 80 to 350 degrees centigrade. Okay, alcohol thermometer. So, with the help of the alcohol thermometer, we can measure the temperatures from minus 80 to 350 degrees centigrade. Alcohol thermometers also there because they are having more coefficient of volume expansion. More coefficient of volume expansion means even for the small rise of temperature, the expansion of the alcohol is more. Expansion of the alcohol is more. That's why alcoholic thermometers are also used. Next, gas thermometers. Shall I erase this one? Shall I erase this one? Okay. So here, why the bulb is taken the form of cylinder means for the given volume of mercury, the surface area is more. That is important point. That point may be asked. Mercury bulb. Cylindrical shape. Okay. Here, for given volume, cylinder is having more surface area. More surface area. So whenever surface area here, in case of mercury thermometer or liquid thermometer, the bulb is taken in the form constructed in the form of a cylinder because for the given volume of the liquid or mercury, the surface area, curved surface area is more. Whenever more surface area is there, as more surface area of the bulb is in contact with our body while measuring the temperature, there is a more transfer of heat energy from our body to the mercury. It's short interval of time. Okay, that's why there is a fast increase in temperature, rise of temperature of the mercury, so that fast expansion takes place. Whenever the expansion takes place very quickly, we can measure the temperatures by using the thermometer very quickly. Otherwise, if you use the spherical bulb thermometer, so when we keep the thermometer in our mouth, after a long time, it shows our temperature. We cannot have that much patience. Immediately, we have to know. Okay, even the mercury thermometers also, we're not having patience to see that reading. We are having digital thermometers. Based on the digital thermometer, sensors are there. It absorbs the heat energy, and based on that heat energy, resistance changes. When resistance changes, based on the resistance also, it shows the reading. Based on the resistance, it shows the temperature. Okay. Next, gas thermometers. Second one, gas thermometers. Okay. Upon heating, the pressure and volume of the gas changes takes place. Upon heating, when temperature of the gas increases, which thermometer shows the correct reading means, so far we are having the correct, which thermometer is preferable means that for accuracy there is no limit. Okay, so far whatever the thermometers available, mercury thermometer gives correct reading. Okay, and gas thermometer, among these different types of thermometers, gas thermometer, liquid thermometer, resistance thermometers are there, no? Okay, Next, thermocouple thermometers are there, no? In which gas thermometers are more preferable because they shows the more perfect reading, sensitive reading compared with other. That's why gas thermometers are preferred over the liquid thermometer or liquid thermometer. But that gas thermometer is bulky in size. The gas thermometer is bulky in size. That's why we prefer liquid thermometers only. But compared with liquid thermometers, gas thermometers are more preferable because even for the small change of temperature, there is a large increase in volume or pressure of the gas thermometer. So whenever the expansion is more, accuracy in the measurement of temperatures are also more. That's why the gas thermometers are preferable over the liquid thermometers or mercury thermometer. So gas thermometers gives more somewhat compared with liquid thermometers. Gas thermometers are more preferable, gives more accurate value compared with liquid thermometers. Okay. Digital thermometer, I said no. Digital thermometers means in digital thermometer sensors are there based on our temperature. The resistance changes due to the current passing through the circuit changes. When current passing through the circuit changes, based on that, the display is there, so it shows the reading. Okay. Right. In case of gas thermometer, here when temperature increases, the pressure of, suppose in a cylindrical vessel, by means of a frictionless piston, by some gas is enclosed. Here it is the piston. Some gas is enclosed here. Okay. If you fix the piston, this is the piston. So by means of a frictionless piston, some gas is enclosed in the cylindrical vessel. Okay. Now, when heat energy is supplied to the gas, as the piston is fixed, there is no possibility for the piston to move. Okay. That's why when heat energy is supplied to the gas, as the heat energy is absorbed by the atoms or molecules in the gas, kinetic energy increases. Average kinetic energy increases. When average kinetic energy increases, temperature rises. When temperature rises, as the kinetic energy of the particles increases here, it makes more number of collisions with the walls of the container per second. That's why pressure increases. Okay, by measuring the pressure, we can assess what is the temperature of the gas. That is equal to temperature of the body. Okay, that is one thing. In other words, whenever the heat energy is supplied, as the pressure increases, then to maintain the pressure constant, we have to move the piston away. So when piston is moved in this direction, so that we can maintain the pressure constant. So by keeping pressure constant, if you supply the heat energy due to rise of temperature, volume increases. That is according to Charles' law. When you keep the volume constant, when you increase the temperature, then pressure increases. Already you know the gas laws. Okay. So here, in case suppose at 0 degrees centigrade, the volume of the at 0 degrees centigrade, the volume of the gas is V0 and the pressure is P0. By keeping the pressure constant, if you raise the temperature of the gas to 3 degrees centigrade, its volume becomes say VT. Then, due to rise of temperature at constant pressure, in case of a gas, at constant pressure P0, okay, the increase in volume VT minus V0, that is directly proportional to rise of temperature T minus 0 degrees and also proportional to the initial volume at 0 degrees centigrade. So when you plug these two, then VT minus V0 is proportional to V0 into T, or VT minus V0 is equal to some proportionality constant alpha into V0 into T. The proportionality constant alpha is called volume coefficient of the gas. Where alpha, volume coefficient of gas. So by using this formula, we can measure the temperature. Or this can also be written as alpha is equal to VT minus V0 by V0 into T. Okay. So here, it is 0 degrees centigrade, the volume of the gas taken in the gas thermometer we know. A constant pressure, that means by keeping the pressure constant. When the temperature of the gas is increased to T degrees centigrade, we doesn't know what is the T. Okay, but volume of the gas at a temperature T degrees centigrade, we can measure in the gas thermometer. So when you know Vt and V0 already know. At a temperature T, Vt we have to measure directly. We can measure based on the scale. Okay, it is constant. Alpha is constant. Alpha value is approximately alpha is equal to 1 by 273 per degree centigrade, because you see unit of volume cancel by T is there. That means 1 by degree centigrade. So per degree centigrade. So it is the alpha value. It is constant for any gas. This alpha value is constant for any gas. Okay. So by measuring the Vt value, if you substitute here, you see alpha is fixed, V0 we know, Vt if you measure, then we can calculate T know. We can calculate T know. That's why by using this formula, by using the increase in volume of the gas upon rise of temperature, we can measure the temperature of the given gas. That is the temperature of the body which is to be measured. So in this way, by using gas thermometer, here there are two types of gas thermometers. By keeping pressure constant, we can measure the temperature. They are called constant pressure gas thermometers. First one, constant pressure gas thermometer. Constant pressure gas thermometer. So here, by constant pressure gas thermometer, in order to measure the temperature, this is the formula to be used. Okay. Next B, constant volume gas thermometer. Constant volume gas thermometer. In case of constant volume gas thermometer, same formula. At constant volume, when temperature increase, temperature of the gas increase, volume increase. That is also Charles first law. No? At constant volume, that's Charles second law. According to Charles second law or Gay-Lussac law, at constant volume, pressure of the gas is directly proportional to the given scale of temperature. We know Charles second law or Gay-Lussac law. So here, a constant volume, as when temperature increases, pressure also increases. Same at 0 degrees centigrade, the pressure is P0. At 0 degrees centigrade, the pressure is P0 and volume is V0. Okay, by keeping the volume constant, when temperature of the gas is increased to T degrees centigrade, then pressure becomes say Pt. And same relation we have, right? Finally, the change in pressure Pt minus P0 is equal to beta into P0 beta into P0 into T, where beta is the proportionality constant, like here only, okay, which is called pressure coefficient of the gas. Beta is called pressure coefficient of gas. Pressure coefficient of gas. This beta value is also equal to 1 by 273 per degree centigrade. That means alpha is equal to beta. Pressure coefficient of gas and volume coefficient of gas both are equal. Okay, so here at 0 degrees centigrade, what is the pressure? We know, because constant volume gas thermometer at T degrees centigrade, at 0 degrees centigrade, what is the pressure? We know. Okay, here when the constant volume gas thermometer is put in contact with the body whose temperature to be noted. So because of transmission of heat energy from that hard body to the gas, the temperature of the gas gradually increases, and whenever the temperature of the gas increases to T, which is the temperature of the body which is to be noted, then pressure becomes Pt. Pt we can calculate. P0 is known, Pt is measured, noted, beta is fixed, P0 is known. Then we can calculate T value, no? So that's why with the help of this constant volume gas thermometer, we can measure the temperature of the given body. This is the constant volume gas thermometer. In olden days, we are having the construction of these gas thermometers also, but nowadays, in recent syllabus, here these constructions are not there. But just we have to know what is the constant pressure gas thermometer, constant volume gas thermometer. Okay. So here, in case of constant volume gas, in case of any type of gas thermometer, we can here hydrogen is preferable in gas thermometers mostly. Hydrogen is preferable in gas thermometers because they are having more expansion for the small rise of temperatures, because attraction forces among the hydrogen atoms, almost all hydrogen gas acts as the ideal gas, no? That's why even for the small rise of temperature, the expansion will be more. The expansion will be more. That's why hydrogen gas is preferred in gas thermometers. With the help of the gas thermometers, we can measure the temperatures from minus 200 degrees centigrade to 1600 degrees centigrade. The range of temperatures which can be measured with the help of the gas thermometers is minus 200 degrees centigrade to 1600 degrees centigrade. Okay. So this is the range of temperatures that can be measured. Next, with the help of the hydrogen gas thermometer, we can measure minus 200 degrees centigrade to 500 degrees centigrade. For helium gas, 268 degrees centigrade to 500 degrees centigrade. For nitrogen gas, 200 degrees centigrade to 1600 degrees centigrade. Okay, that is the gas thermometer. Next, resistance thermometer. Third one, platinum resistance thermometer. Platinum resistance thermometer, simple resistance thermometer. Platinum resistance thermometer, or simply resistance thermometer. In case of a conductor like platinum wire, when temperature increases, resistance also increases. Okay, I will say one by one, Mr. Grish. Triple point means the temperature and pressure at which three states of matter, solid, liquid, and gas, all are in thermal equilibrium. Such temperature is called the triple point. Such temperature is called triple point. Okay. Triple point and a substance and three states ఉంటాయి కదా, solid, liquid, gas. Suppose you take H2O substance. Liquid state ఉంది water, solid state అంటే ice, gaseous state అంటే steam లేదా vapor, water vapor. ఇవన్నీ తీసుకోవచ్చు కదా. అయితే at what temperature and pressure the three states of matter are in thermal equilibrium, such particular temperature and pressure is called the triple point of the given substance. Okay. So platinum resistance thermometer. In this platinum resistance thermometer, at 0 degrees centigrade, suppose the resistance of the wire in the platinum, the resistance of the platinum wire in the resistance thermometer is say R naught. When the temperature is increased to T degrees centigrade, the resistance increases to say RT. Then, upon heating from 0 to T degrees centigrade, the resistance of the platinum resistance thermometer increase, platinum wire increase from R naught to RT. That's why increase in resistance is RT minus R naught. That is directly proportional to the resistance at 0 degrees centigrade and also proportional to rise of temperature T minus 0. T minus 0 means T only. Therefore, RT minus R naught is directly proportional to R naught into T. Okay, RT minus R naught is equal to some proportionality constant alpha into R naught into T. Here the proportionality constant alpha is called temperature coefficient of resistance. So from this formula you see RT is equal to, we can write RT is equal to R naught plus alpha into R naught into T. Or RT is equal to R naught, you take common, 1 plus alpha into T. Okay, we can remember the formula like this, or we can remember formula like this also. Alpha is equal to RT minus R naught by R naught into T. We can remember the formula like this also. Okay, here where alpha, temperature coefficient of resistance, temperature coefficient of resistance. It is constant for the given platinum wire. This temperature coefficient of resistance is constant for the given wire or wire used in the resistance thermometer. So it is fixed. We know this value. At 0 degrees centigrade, resistance can be measured by means of a ohm meter. Ohm meter is the device used to measure the resistance. No? So by means of ohm meter at 0 degrees centigrade, what is the resistance we can measure? Even in digital thermometers also, this type of functioning only there. So here, when temperature increases to T degrees centigrade, the temperature is not known, but resistance can be measured. So RT will be noted. So when you know RT value, Then if you substitute here RT, R naught, alpha is fixed when you substitute here, we can calculate T. T is the temperature of that platinum white in the resistance thermometer. Okay, if you know this, when you find this temperature T, that is the temperature of the body. In this way, we can measure with the help of the platinum resistance thermometer. We can measure the temperature. Okay, next, thermocouple thermometer. Thermocouple thermometer. Actually, thermocouple means by means of two. Okay, here by means of the platinum resistance thermometer, this type of resistance thermometers, we can measure the temperatures in the order of approximately -200 to, by using this platinum resistance thermometer, we can measure temperature ranges from -200 degrees centigrade to 1200 degrees centigrade. By means of the platinum resistance thermometer, we can measure the temperatures from -200 degrees centigrade to 1200 degrees centigrade. Okay, next, thermocouple thermometer. First of all, what is the thermocouple? Let us know. So thermocouple means you take the two metal wires made of different materials. You take the two metal wires made of different materials like copper wire, iron. Okay, you take two metal wires made of different materials, antimony, bismuth, like that. So here, this is one metal wire. Of course, we can take in any shape. It is the wire. Okay, in any arbitrary shape we can take. So in order to see the diagram neatly, I draw like this. Okay, we can take in any shape because it is a wire. It is flexible. We can draw in any shape. Okay. Here you take this. This is one wire. You take another wire. You take another wire. Here, this is the antimony. It is antimony SB, and it is the bismuth wire BI. Antimony and bismuth. Okay. Here, by means of two metal wires made of different metals, their ends are joined together so that two junctions are formed. This is one junction, this is another junction. Then this arrangement is called the thermocouple. This arrangement is called thermocouple. Whenever the temperature difference between the two junctions of the thermocouple are not there, then no electric current passing through them. Here, there is no battery. Here there is no battery. But here, in case of antimony and bismuth, at the junction, in this antimony wire, the free electron density is different. In this bismuth, free electron density is different. Okay. So whenever there is no temperature difference between the junctions of the thermocouple, the thermocouple యొక్క రెండు junctions దగ్గర temperature difference లేనప్పుడు, ఇక్కడ temperature same ఉన్నప్పుడు, okay, whatever the number of electrons move from this antimony to bismuth or bismuth to antimony, the number of electrons passing through junction at any given temperature, that remains same as the number of electrons passing from bismuth to antimony or antimony to bismuth. Suppose here, free electrons move from antimony to bismuth at particular temperature. Suppose at particular temperature, 10 electrons, free electrons travel from antimony to bismuth. Here also at the same temperature, same number of electrons flow from antimony to bismuth. Due to the flow of electrons from this antimony to bismuth, current will pass in opposite direction. Okay, in this direction, current passes. Here, as the electrons flow from antimony to bismuth like this, current flow in this direction. Here, at this junction, current is flown like this. At this junction, current is flown like this, so that both currents will be cancelled. Both currents will be cancelled. That's why no current passing through this thermocouple whenever the two junctions are at the same temperature. Okay. Suppose whenever this junction is at certain temperature, because of difference of free electron density, the free electrons move from one metal to another metal at the junction. One metal to another metal at the junction. Due to that, some EMF is developed here. EMF means electromotive force. EMF means electromotive force. Because of temperature of the junction here, and because of difference in free electron density in the two metal wires at this junction, because of temperature, free electrons will flow from one metal to another metal at the junction. Due to that, some potential is developed here. That is called EMF, electromotive force. Electromotive force. Okay. Similarly, at this also EMF is developed. As the two junctions are at the same temperature, same EMF is developed here and here, so that there is no difference in the EMFs at the two junctions. But one junction is kept submerged in a one junction is kept in the cold water, another junction is kept submerged in the hot water. That means temperature difference, in order to maintain the temperature difference, here it is the hot and it is the cold. So whenever the temperature difference is maintained, as it is the hot, it is at high temperature. That's why more EMF is developed here, less EMF is developed here. That's why there is some difference in EMF is developed. Difference in EMF is developed. That difference in EMF developed across the two junctions is called thermo EMF. Or potential difference, the difference between the EMF of the two junctions of the thermocouple is called potential difference. So some potential difference is created. Whenever the potential difference is created, definitely electric current will flow. No? So electric current will flow in this thermocouple. In order to measure the electric current through the thermocouple, a gauge is also connected. In order to measure the current through the thermocouple, a gauge is also connected in series with the thermocouple. And whatever the current flowing through them, same current will pass through this one. In such a way, a galvanometer is also connected. Galvanometer G. Here G is the galvanometer. Galvanometer. So a galvanometer is also connected in the circuit in series with the thermocouple to measure the current passing through them. Okay. So now, suppose it is at 0 degrees centigrade. It is at temperature theta say. As it is at high temperature, more EMF is developed here. It is at less temperature, 0 degrees centigrade, less thermo EMF is developed. That's why, because of temperature difference between the two junctions here, some potential difference is developed between them, which is called thermo EMF, thermo electromotive force. So potential difference between the two junctions of the thermocouple is called thermo EMF. Potential difference means, in order to send the electric, in order to pass the electric current through any conductor across the two ends of the conductor, we must maintain some potential difference. I think potential difference term is there in your previous standards in 9th class or 10th class, I think. Of course, in second year we are having again current electricity chapter. We will discuss potential difference, everything clearly there. Have you studied the potential difference? Yeah. When temperature changes, temperature difference between the, when temperature changes, thermo EMF developed here change. Then thermo EMF means potential difference between the two junctions will change. When temperature changes, thermo EMF changes. So potential difference between the two junctions. Potential difference between two junctions, A and B. This is a A, this is a B. Between two junctions, A and B, is called thermo EMF. Okay, the thermo EMF is represented with small e, say. Okay, thermo EMF. There is with here, when by keeping the temperature of the cold junction at 0 degrees centigrade, when temperature of the hot junction is theta say, then temperature difference is theta minus 0. No? Therefore, the thermo EMF developed E is equal to some constant A into theta minus B into theta square. Where A, B are the constants. A, B are the constants. A and B are constants called Seebeck constants. A, B are constants called Seebeck constants. These values are fixed for the given pair of metals used here. Seebeck constants. Okay. Next here, in this, when temperature by keeping the cold junction at 0 degrees centigrade, when temperature of the hot junction increases, how the thermo EMF varies? How the thermo EMF varies? You take the thermo EMF along y-axis and the temperature along x-axis. When temperature of the cold junction is kept at 0 degrees centigrade, here temperature of the hot junction only. It is at 0 degrees centigrade. At first, when temperature of the hard junction is 0 degrees centigrade, has no thermo developed, EMF developed here and here, both are same. That's why no thermo EMF is developed. Hence, thermo EMF developed is 0. When temperature increases, temperature of the hard junction increases by keeping the cold junction at 0 degrees centigrade. The thermo EMF also increases according to the formula here. According to the formula like this. Definitely, what is the shape of the graph? You will tell me. When you draw the graph between theta and E, E is the thermo EMF and theta is the temperature. When you draw the graph between these two, what is the shape of the graph? You will tell me. Whatever the quantities here, when you draw the graph between E and theta, what is the nature of graph? You can say no. Downward parabola. Very good, Nana. Downward parabola. So you will get the parabola like this. So exactly at this particular position, the thermo EMF is maximum. No? The temperature of the hard junction, provided the temperature of the cold junction 0 degrees centigrade, at which the thermo EMF reaches maximum. Such temperature is called neutral temperature, Tn. Theta n is called neutral temperature. Theta is called neutral temperature. Okay. Neutral temperature. Here you see, whenever the temperature gradually increases, at this particular temperature, the thermo EMF becomes 0. No, that is called inversion temperature. Theta I is called inversion temperature. Inversion temperature. Here, why it is called inversion temperature means when the temperature of the hard junction gradually increases, at one particular temperature, thermo EMF becomes 0. After that, if you further increase the temperature, then thermo EMF increases in reverse direction. That means it is inverted. That's why it is called inversion temperature. And moreover, this parabola is the symmetric parabola. This parabola is the symmetric parabola. That's why the time interval between these two will be equal to time interval between these two. Temperature difference between these two is equal to temperature difference between these two. That means theta n minus 0 is equal to this temperature difference also, theta I minus theta n. So from this theta I is equal to 2 into theta n. That means inversion temperature is double the neutral temperature. Inversion temperature is double the neutral temperature. Here 0 degrees centigrade means it is the temperature of the cold junction, theta C. Temperature of the cold junction is theta C. Okay. Here instead of 0 degree we can write theta C. Instead of 0 degrees centigrade, in general we can write. Sometimes the temperature of the cold junction is not 0. That may be theta C. In such case, theta n minus theta C. We can write like this. So from this, theta n is equal to theta I plus theta C by 2. We can write now. Neutral temperature is equal to inversion temperature plus temperature of the cold junction by 2. Where theta C, temperature of the cold junction. Temperature of cold junction. This one. That if it is 0, you substitute 0. Temperature of cold junction. So in this way, with the help of this thermocouple thermometer, we can measure the temperatures very easily, perfectly also, because one junction is kept at one temperature constant, that will be 0 degrees centigrade or whatever the value. It is the cold junction. Okay, hard junction is this one. Here the body whose temperature is to be noted must be put in contact with this one. Here these junctions are very sharp because it is the metal wires. These are twisted together so that the junctions are very sharp, like a pin, like a needle. Okay, as these junctions are very sharp and they are having more thermal capacity. Okay, they are having less thermal capacity. That's why they absorb even for the small absorption of heat and Z, the rise in temperature will be more, so that more temperature difference will be created and more current will pass. More current will pass. Whenever more current will pass, then the thermo EMF can be measured with the help of the device connected here. We can measure very easily. That's why if you know E value, AB are constant. If you know E value at this particular temperature, then theta can be measured by using this formula. Okay, that's why with the help of the thermocouple thermometer, we can measure the temperature easily. But we can measure very small temperatures also perfectly. Okay, so based on, because they are having less thermal capacity, the junctions are having less thermal capacity. That's why we can measure the temperatures more accurately. So with the help of this thermocouple thermometer, very small temperatures, 0.0025 degrees centigrade, like that also we can measure accurately. And this thermocouple thermometer is used to measure the temperatures of the wild animals like lion, etc. Lion అటువంటి animals యొక్క temperatures అంటే wild animals యొక్క temperatures మెజర్ చేయడానికి thermocouple thermometers ని యూజ్ చేస్తారు. వాళ్ళు గన్తో ఫైర్ చేస్తారు చూడండి, గన్తో ఫైర్ చేసినప్పుడు దాంట్లో thermocouple thermometer అరేంజ్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది. thermocouple thermometer అంటే ఓల్డెన్ డేస్ లో యూజ్ చేసేవాళ్ళు, ఇప్పుడు లేటెస్ట్ గా మరి ఏం యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారు. సో ఈ thermocouple thermometers ఈ హార్డ్ జంక్షన్ ఒక షార్ప్ నీడిల్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. హార్డ్ జంక్షన్ షార్ప్ నీడిల్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. దీనేమో 0 డిగ్రీ సెంటిగ్రేడ్ దగ్గర అంటే ఒక నోన్ టెంపరేచర్ దగ్గర మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారు. ఇది మాత్రం బయటికి ప్రొజెక్ట్ అయి ఉంటుంది నీడిల్ లాగా, సిరంజి నీడిల్ ఉంటుంది చూడండి, ఆ టైప్ లో ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, మనం షూట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఈ నీడిల్ మూవ్ ఫార్వర్డ్ అండ్ దే penetrates into the wild animal body. Okay, of course, whenever this needle is penetrated into the wild animal body, that animal cannot take out. They cannot take out. Okay, that's why after some time, the temperature of this junction, hard junction, reaches the temperature of the animal. Temperature of the animal. Okay, temperature of the animal ఎప్పుడైతే రీచ్ అవుతుందో అంటే ఇక్కడ ఈ టెంపరేచర్ ఆఫ్ ది యానిమల్ రీచ్ అయిన తర్వాత దాని బయటికి పుల్ అవుట్. అంటే ఈ ఇంజెక్షన్ కి ఏం చేస్తారంటే వాళ్ళు ఒక థ్రెడ్ గానే ఒక చిన్న థ్రెడ్ టైప్ ఏదైనా నైలాన్ వైర్ గాని దాన్ని అరేంజ్ చేసుకుంటారు. whenever it is put into the animal body, then temperature of the animal, whatever the temperature of the animal body, that reaches that is equal to temperature of this hard junction. Then by means of this thermocouple thermometer, with the help of this formula, we can measure the temperature of this junction, that is equal to temperature of the animal. So atla temperature of the animal ని మెజర్ చేయడానికి దీన్ని యూజ్ చేస్తారు. ఓకే, అంటే లాంగ్ డిస్టెన్సెస్ నుంచి టెంపరేచర్ ఆఫ్ ది యానిమల్ ని మెజర్ చేయడానికి దిస్ thermocouple thermometer is also used, and moreover it is more sensitive, even it can measure very small temperatures also accurately. Okay, how much time they will keep to measure the animal temperature of the animal body means that depends on the type of the thermocouple thermometer used. Okay, for antimony bismuth, for this metal combination, for this pair of metals, we can measure the temperature of the animal body very quickly compared with other metals, combination of the other metals. Okay, the B value will be given. B value will be given here. B value will be given to you. Okay. Now, with the help of these thermocouple thermometers, we can measure very small temperatures in the order by using thermocouple thermometer or thermoelectric thermometer. By using this one, from minus 200 degrees centigrade to 1600 degrees centigrade, we can measure the temperatures accurately. It is also expensive. By using this thermocouple thermometer, or this is also called as the thermoelectric thermometer also, or it is also called as the thermoelectric thermometer. Thermoelectric thermometer. Okay, with the help of this thermoelectric thermometer, we can measure the temperatures in the range from minus 200 degrees centigrade to 1600 degrees centigrade. Similarly, radiation pyrometer is there. Radiation pyrometer. Pyrometer is the device. Pyrometer is the device used to measure very, very high temperatures like temperature of the sun, stars, etc. Okay, next one. Next, fifth one, pyrometer. So pyrometer is the device used to measure the very high temperatures like temperature of the stars. Device, it is the device used to measure. It is the device use it to measure temperature of stars. Of course, sun is also a star. Temperature of the stars like sun. Okay. Here with the help of the pyrometer, the range of it is also called as the radiation pyrometer. Simply pyrometer or radiation pyrometer. Here, by means of this radiation pyrometer, we can measure the temperatures ranging from 800 degrees centigrade to 4000 degrees centigrade. Some pyrometers are there. Even 7000 degrees centigrade can also be measured. 7000 degrees centigrade that can also be measured. So temperature of the sun is approximately 7000 Kelvin. Temperature of the sun is approximately 7000 Kelvin. So in order to measure the temperature of the sun also we use the pyrometer only. We use the pyrometer. Okay. Right. This is about the pyrometer. Next, vapor pressure thermometer. Here, on what principle pyrometer works means it works on the Stephen's law. It works on Stephen's law. Stephen's law. Stephen's law means the amount of energy emitted by any body per second from unit area is directly proportional to fourth power of Kelvin scale of temperature of that body, or that is equal to proportional constant sigma into temperature to power of 4. Okay, this is called Stephen's law, where E is the amount of energy emitted by any hard body per second, amount of heat energy emitted by the body per second per unit area, where E heat energy emitted per second per unit area. Heat energy emitted per second per unit area. That is the E. E is equal to sigma into T to the power 4. Or in case of sun, for stars, we can use this formula for stars. Okay. T is the Kelvin scale of temperature. T, Kelvin scale of temperature or temperature in Kelvin scale. Kelvin scale of temperature. Sigma is the proportionality constant called Stephen's constant. Stephen's constant. You will be given that constant. Approximately 5.26 something is there. So the Stephen's constant will be mentioned. Okay. Next, last one in this thermometers, vapor pressure thermometer. Here, by means of this pyrometers, what is the range of temperatures we can measure generally? In general, 800 to 4000 degrees centigrade. Next, vapor pressure thermometer. Vapor pressure thermometer. So, with the help of the vapor pressure thermometer, it is used to measure very, very small temperatures in the order of 0.71 Kelvin to 120 Kelvin. Very small temperatures accurately with the help of the vapor pressure thermometer. Okay. So, these are the different types of thermometers which we can use. Now, yeah, it injures already. We too know. మనకి నీడిల్ ప్రిక్ చేస్తే మనకి ఇంజూరీ అవుతుంది తెలుసుగా, మనకి అంటే పెయిన్ గా ఉంటుంది కదా. కానీ మన హెల్త్ కండిషన్ బాగుండాలంటే, రికవరీ అవ్వాలంటే డెఫినెట్లీ వీ హ్యావ్ టు బేర్ దట్ పెయిన్, స్మాల్ పెయిన్ కంపేర్డ్ విత్ అదర్స్. Compared with other pains, that injury when prick the that thermocouple thermometer into the body of the animal, that is small thing. Okay. ఇంజెక్షన్ చేస్తే బాడీ పెయిన్ వస్తుంది కదా అని చెప్పేసి ఇంజెక్షన్ చేయకుండా ఉంటే తగ్గదు హెల్త్. ఆ హెల్త్ దానికి వచ్చే నెగిటివ్ కాన్సిక్వెన్స్ కంటే ఇది బెటర్ కాబట్టి మనం ఇది ఫాలో అవుతాం. ఓకే. Okay, in this chapter, what are the problems you need? Yesterday I said that some problems I will explain on the board because they are difficult to other people also. Okay. What are the problems you ask me? I'll start the new chapter today. What are the problems? Ask me. 14th problem. Okay. Ask somebody else to remind one problem. Yeah, 14th one, I think. Okay. Yeah, 14th problem. In page number lecture sheet. Lecture sheet exercise, of course, only one exercise is there, only level 1. Okay, page number 6. Problem number 14. You ask. The reading corresponding to a ice point and steam point for a constant pressure. The reading corresponding to ice point and steam point for a constant pressure. Constant pressure gas thermometers are 50 cc and 510 cc. Ice point means that is a melting point. Melting point of ice means 0 degrees centigrade. At 0 degrees centigrade, the volume of the gas is given as 50 cc. 50 cc. Okay. And at the steam point means 100 degrees centigrade. At the steam point, the volume of the gas at constant pressure is equal to 510 cc. The reading corresponding to room temperature is 152 cc. Then what is the room temperature? The reading of the volume of the gas thermometer at room temperature is VT. VT is equal to 152 cc given. Then what is this temperature of the room? That is the question they asked. Already at 0 degrees centigrade, the volume is V0, and at any temperature T, volume is VT. Then already we know VT minus V0. VT minus V0 by V0 into T is equal to alpha. We know. Okay, from this VT minus V0 is equal to V alpha into V0 into T, no? Alpha into V0 into T. Alpha into V0 into T. Okay. Here alpha is constant. So here you substitute the data. At a temperature 100 degrees centigrade, V100 minus V0 is equal to alpha into V0 into T means 100. Okay. At any temperature here, VT minus V0 is equal to alpha into V0 into T. Divide these two. Equation 1, equation 2. Divide these two. 1 by 2 gives V100 minus V0 by VT minus V0 is equal to alpha V0 will be cancelled 100 by T. 100 by T. V100 means already 510. V0 means 50. By VT means 152 minus V0 means 50 is equal to 100 by T. Then T can be calculated. When you calculate T value, you will get approximately 22.17, I think. 22.17 you will get degrees centigrade. I think this is the answer. 22.17. Next in level 2, question number 3. Level 2, question number 3. Okay. Next in level 1, any problem? In page number 8, third problem. Okay, in level 2, I will explain third problem. In level 1, are you having any doubt? Right. In level 2. No, in level 1, sixth problem I will explain. In level 1, I will explain sixth problem because that is important. Sixth problem I will explain. A platinum resistance thermometer is constructed which reaches 0 degrees centigrade at ice point and 100 degrees centigrade at the steam point. The resistance of the platinum coil varies with the time according to the equation RT is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha T plus beta T square. TP denotes the temperature of the platinum resistance. TP. Temperature of platinum resistance. It is important one. TP represents the temperature of the platinum resistance. T denotes the temperature of the mercury scale. T. Temperature of mercury scale. Then the resistance as a function of TP. That means RT is equal to question mark. Resistance as a function of TP, that is RTP. RTP is equal to question mark. That is the question. Of course, whatever the formula we discussed, not according to that formula, that resistance of the platinum wire changes. According to this formula given. So according to this formula, when resistance of the platinum thermometer varies with temperature, then whatever the resistance of the platinum resistance thermometer at any temperature Tp, where T is the temperature of the mercury, where T is the temperature of the mercury given, no? Temperature of the mercury is given. Okay, now in case of platinum resistance thermometer, alpha is equal to, that means temperature coefficient of resistance alpha is equal to, what is the formula? RT minus R naught by R naught into T. RT minus R naught by R naught into T. Okay. Here at 0 degrees centigrade and at 100 degrees centigrade, a platinum resistance thermometer is constructed which reads 0 degrees centigrade at ice point and 100 degrees centigrade at the steam point and temperature. 100 degrees centigrade at the steam point. Okay. So now at any temperature Tp, at any temperature of the platinum resistance is Tp, no? That's why alpha is equal to, at any temperature of the platinum resistance Tp, so RTP minus R naught by R naught into Tp. Okay, at any temperature Tp of the platinum resistance thermometer, the resistance is a RTP. Then temperature coefficient of resistance. Temperature coefficient of resistance. Already I said this formula. So RTP temperature దగ్గర resistance RTP అనుకుంటే RTP we had to find. That is our aim. RTP we had to find. Okay, therefore alpha is equal to RTP minus R naught by R naught into TP. That is equal to, same formula can be used for 100 degrees centigrade also. At a temperature 100 degrees centigrade, the resistance is say R100 minus R naught by R naught into 100. It is also formula for alpha only. As same platinum resistance thermometer is used for these temperatures, as this is same. That's why these two you make them equal. Then this R naught cancel. R naught cancel. Okay, from this RTP minus R naught equal to R100 minus R naught by, of course, R100 by 100 minus R naught by 100. Okay, into TP is also there, no? Into TP. You write into TP. So from this RTP is equal to R naught plus this one. R100 by 100 minus R naught by 100 into TP. Okay. So resistance of the platinum resistance thermometer at any temperature RTP is equal to R naught into this is equal to R naught plus, what about R100? What about R100? Answer is given in terms of alpha. Answer is given in terms of alpha. R100 means at any temperature 100 degrees centigrade, the resistance of the platinum resistance thermometer can be obtained by this method, no? So here R100 is there. We can write R100 here. How we can substitute R100? From this formula, R100 means R naught into here. T is equal to 100. R100 means platinum resistance thermometer at 100 degrees centigrade. So instead of T, you substitute 100. So R naught into 1 plus alpha into 100 plus beta into 100 square. Okay, by 100 is there. So by 100 minus R naught. R naught means resistance at 0 degrees centigrade. When you put 0, then you will get R naught only. R naught by 100. Okay, keep in brackets into TP. Okay, now RTP is equal to You will see R0 by 100 minus R0 by 100. These two can be cancelled now. Remaining is RTP is equal to R0 plus R0 into, you split them, alpha into 100 by 100 means alpha plus beta into 100 square by 100 means beta into 100. Beta into 100 rho over into TP. Into TP. Okay, this is equal to, you take R0 common. You take R0 in both R0, you take common. R0 of 1 plus alpha plus beta, 100 beta into TP. So RTP is equal to 1 plus alpha into TP plus, okay, it is given like this. Therefore, RTP is equal to, you multiply with R0. Okay, R0 keep here only. R0 of 1 plus alpha into TP plus 100 beta into TP. This is the answer given. Okay, RTP is equal to R0 into 1 plus alpha TP plus beta into 100 into TP. That is the answer. So then resistance as a function of TP at any temperature TP is the temperature of the platinum resistance thermometer TP. At this temperature, what is the resistance they asked? So this is the formula. Okay, note down. Okay, next in level 2, third problem you asked now. Third problem. Okay. Okay, third problem I will explain. Okay, I will explain third problem now. So level 1 is completed. Next in level 2. Third problem. Okay, shall I write this part? Okay, see level 2, page number 8. Page number 8, problem number 3. A thermometer is gradated in millimeters. A thermometer is gradated in millimeters. It reaches minus 3 mm when the bulb of the thermometer is in pure melting ice, and 22 millimeter when the thermometer is in steam. Suppose here thermometer is there. On the thermometer at 0 degrees centigrade, actually 0 millimeter is this one, and it is steam point. Steam means at 100 degrees centigrade, no? So here a thermometer is gradated in millimeters. The scale is gradated in millimeters, not in degrees centigrade like that. A thermometer is gradated in millimeters. It reaches minus 3 mm when the bulb is in melting ice. Melting ice means exactly at 0 degrees centigrade. The reading is minus 3 millimeter. It is 0 millimeter means definitely minus 3 millimeter is below now. So it is minus 3 millimeter. It is 0 millimeter. In steam point, when the thermometer is in the steam at the atmospheric pressure, then it shows 22 millimeter. So here reading is 22 millimeter. At the steam point means 100 degrees centigrade. It is given like this. Of course, here mercury level. It is the mercury level. Okay. Now, so at 100 degrees centigrade, the mercury level rises up to this one, so that the length of the mercury column is 22 millimeter. That means length of the mercury column is given. Okay. Now, the temperature in degrees centigrade when thermometer reaches 13 millimeter. So at 0 degrees centigrade, H naught is equal to -3 millimeter. At 100 degrees centigrade, H100 is equal to 22 millimeter. At what is the temperature it reached when the thermometer reaches 13 millimeter? What is the temperature when HT is equal to 13 millimeter? This is the case. In case of in case of the thermometer, already I said Vt alpha is equal to Vt minus V naught by V naught into T. Already said implies Vt minus V naught is equal to alpha into V naught into T. No, volume of the mercury column at any temperature is Vt. Volume of the mercury at 0 degrees centigrade. Okay, alpha is the volume coefficient of cubical expansion or coefficient of volume expansion of the mercury here. Of course, T is the temperature. Here, suppose it is the increase in volume now. It is the increase in volume. Increase in volume means suppose the mercury level rises up to certain height, then area of cross section into height up to which the mercury level rises. That is equal to increase in volume, which is equal to HT is the increase in HT is the height up to which the mercury level rises into area of cross section of the bore. That gives the increase in volume of the mercury, which is equal to alpha into V naught, area of cross section into height of the mercury column at 0 degrees centigrade, H naught into T. Okay, here A cancel. So HT is equal to alpha H naught into T. Okay, now okay, HT minus H naught, no? At a temperature T degrees centigrade, the height of the mercury column HT. At a temperature 0 degrees centigrade, height is say H naught. So A into H naught is equal to this one. So HT minus H naught is equal to alpha H naught into T, because A is taken common and cancel out. Okay, then we have HT minus H naught is equal to alpha H naught into T. Okay, now based on this formula, we have to substitute the data. The temperature difference is what? 100 degrees centigrade. Here it is 0 degrees centigrade. So what is the because of this temperature difference? What is the rise in mercury level for this temperature difference? Tell me. From when the temperature of the mercury increases from 0 to 100, what is the rise in length of the mercury column? What is the rise in length of the mercury column? Tell me. When temperature increase from 0 to 100 degrees centigrade, that means for the rise of temperature, rise in mercury column is say delta H. That is equal to what? You think? You see? That means rise in temperature delta T means 100 minus 0 degrees centigrade. 100 degrees centigrade minus 0 degrees centigrade by. For this temperature change, the mercury level raises from this one to this one, means this minus this one is the rise in mercury column. So 22 minus of minus 3. That is equal to 100 by 25. It is the rise in temperature. You see, rise in temperature for this much rise of mercury column. Then rise in temperature for it is in millimeter. So rise in temperature for each millimeter rise of mercury column is equal to this one. So therefore, rise in temperature for each millimeter rise, each 1 mm rise of mercury column or liquid column, whatever it may be, mercury column is equal to delta theta by delta H is equal to 100 by 25. Of course, that is equal to 4. Okay, then for 1 millimeter rise of temperature, it is the rise of temperature. For 1 millimeter rise of mercury column, it is the rise of temperature. For 13, here you see, when H is equal to 13 mm, what is the rise in mercury column? Therefore, change in temperature, new change of temperature delta theta dash is equal to rise in temperature for each millimeter rise of temperature, each millimeter rise of mercury column is equal to delta theta by delta H. For 1 millimeter rise of mercury column, this is a change in temperature. Okay, for this much rise of mercury column, what is the change in temperature? Means this one. You substitute the data. Delta theta by delta H means 4 into what is the rise in mercury column? As the reading of the mercury column is equal to 13 millimeter is given. 13 millimeter. The temperature in degrees centigrade when thermometer reaches 13 mm. When thermometer reaches 13 mm means suppose that 13 mm is here, say 13 mm. Then what is the rise in mercury column? Rise in mercury column from 0 degrees centigrade to temperature here is say T. Then for this, when the temperature changes from 0 to T degrees centigrade, rise in mercury column is equal to -3 to 13. That's why delta H dash is equal to 13 minus of -3. That is the rise in temperature. Rise in temperature means T minus 0. Therefore, T is equal to 4 into 60. So T is equal to 64 degrees centigrade. I think answer is 64. Yeah, 64 only. It is given like this one. Of course, this is given as this one. 100 by, okay, here it is given as 100 by 25 into 16 given. Yeah, that is only answer. It is also very, very important. Next, any problem? Yeah, that is the formula. Rise in length per, no, rise in temperature per unit rise of, increase in temperature per 1 millimeter rise of mercury column is equal to this one. For this much rise of, this much increase in mercury, length of the mercury column, what is the change of temperature? That is the case. Yeah, you said reverse. Okay, we can do that. By that method also we can do. Okay, next, which problem? Which problem? So today in thermometry, you do remaining problems also. Okay, if need, I will take the class in evening. Okay, right, and have a nice day. I'm signing out. Bye, all of you.